back in beautiful, cold Hampshire, Illinois. It's finally a little less cold, so we can keep progressing, dynos, all that fun stuff. Some new updates, some new cars in the shop, some old cars in the shop. All sorts of cars in the shop. Let me double check we're live. Hey, we're live! Gotta love it. So, Hellcat Swap Durango. It looks a little fun, but she's going to be a ripper. She's going to sound great. I don't know if the video quality is that good, so if it's not, I apologize. Arturo's doing his thing over here. Oh, yeah. What you got going on, Arturo?
AWE cap back.
Hold on. The people need to see you.
I did the AWE cap back.
Mm-hmm.
And now I just have to do the coolant system for the Hellcat blower. And then some finishing touches here and there, and that'll be it.
Heck yeah, man. You've been doing good work on this sucker. So she should be making tons of power. It'll be much more fun for the customer than the old 5.7. So she's going to be a ripper, guys. Stay tuned. This thing's going to be so much fun. Arturo's giving it his secret sauce, his little touch. Look at that. Masterful hand. So all the good stuff. I can't wait, y'all. Let's see what else we got. RHO! RH, whoa, what is this? What the heck? There's stuff in there, guys. I don't know. I'm kind of scared to show you. But, you know, I don't know. Things and stuff. Things and stuff. Whoa! What's going on up there? I guess we'll have to wait for Jeremy to tell you, but it looks like some fun stuff. It looks like some fun stuff. So it's kind of hard to get the camera in there so you can really see, but it looks like possibly an exhaust. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let Jeremy show you all the rest. We got a motor going back together. My main man, Dan, cooking it up. Doesn't want to be on camera. He doesn't get to say. He doesn't want to focus on him either. So walk him down. Dan is walking him down. So this vehicle came in. Was down a cylinder. And I don't know where it went. But one of the lifters,
It's in the back.
Okay. One of the lifters ended up collapsing. Nothing against the company that made them. It happens, you know. Parts failures is part of the game. So we're gonna get them back up. Going back together right now. We got to remeasure some push rods because we're changing lifters. But it happens, you know what I mean. So we're gonna get him back to how he should be, back to making power, and he's gonna be a very, very happy camper when she's back, my man. So can't wait for this sucker. I think we'll go a little bit more in depth with it with Jeremy, the main man. But Dan's boxing her up, getting her ready to go back. I believe we got to get new push rods now, the new lifters. So gonna get that. Gonna get her back to making the power. So let's see what else we got. Another engine. Here's a empty subframe, a beautiful Sitla trans, and ooh-wee, fresh motor going together. So valve train stabilizers, all the good stuff to run all the RPMs. Manton rockers, CJ on the build. You want the best built motor you can get, you gotta get with CJ. This man puts together monsters.
Just do what I do.
He just do what he does. You know what I'm saying? So main man CJ cracking her together. I don't want to bother him too much because he starts throwing stuff at me when I do that, but I'm gonna leave him alone.
I just watched him hit his head on the tire like 3 times.
DGE. I don't know how to flip this near the camera. I don't know. She's goofy. So what else do we got? Oh my God, Hellcat motors out. Like you wouldn't believe, we got Hellcat motor 1 for sale. We got 2 other Hellcat motors for sale over yonder. We have 3 cat motors. We have a billet, a 420 cubic inch sucker. We got a good Hellcat long block, and we have a Hurt Trackhawk, or not really Hurt, just low compression Trackhawk motor. Joe's doing his thing. Little valve cover action. Little valve cover action from the Big J himself. Making parts, breaking hearts. Look at this. So before the bottom's milled out, this is how it looks when the top's finished. So it literally is just a big hunk of aluminum that we turn into what I consider to be art. So Joe does his thing. I mean, this is what we start with. This is what our products look like before they get the Joe touch. So this at some point is going to become a valve cover. This is going to become something, I'm not quite sure. Right now it's just a square, not even, not all the sides are the same length. I can't talk well, and I didn't pass geometry, but Joe does his thing, man. Joe does his thing. There's some other things I'm just going to, whoa. A lot of fun stuff going on. A lot of fun stuff. A lot more things to come. 2025 is going to be a crazy fun year. Lots of new products, lots of new power. So, legitimately, that's what this stuff starts as. Just big old hunks of metal. And then Joe works his magic. So it's kind of cool to watch it happen live from that big hunk to a usable product. So, very hype on that. I think that's about it. I believe we're waiting on a blower for this level 3. What else we got? What else we got? Oh, we got parts. We got so many parts. If you haven't seen the garage sale post, we have drive shafts, engines, Trackhawk complete front subframes with Brembo knuckles. If you have a 5.7, you want to run front Brembos. Ooh, wouldn't that be cool? I know a guy that did it. It's me. It's really fun. Put Brembos on everything. Go in debt to buy Brembos because it's cool. Also, buy this motor. Buy motors. Buy motors. We're up for financing if you want. Buy a Hellcat motor. There's no reason to have a 5.7 in 2025. Just put a Hellcat motor in there. I know I'm a 5.7 guy, but just jokes. Just jokes. 5.7 is a great motor, especially for boost. Let's see what's going on in the office. It is all sorts of choppy.
Yeah, you screwed it up.
I didn't do nothing.
Hey, so I'm trying to join from my
There's the door open. The Wi-Fi's?
Seeing if it, yeah, but it's.
Wow, this seat is 2 degrees.
You should be used to that on the Civic.
Hey, you know what? Look at that. Bear with us, folks. We're doing stuff. How do I entertain them? Hi. I hit a dresser in the middle of the road, and I blew out my window last night on my beautiful Honda Civic. Kind of bummed about that. Just got them tinted. Clipped my mirror, painted mirrors in EX, so I can't find a paint matched mirror. It's a $500 car, so I shouldn't care. But you know, you'll have that. So if you guys have blown out your mirrors, leave a comment. Let us know. Join the club. Make me feel better. I'm not the only one with a blown out mirror, window, heater control, rear suspension, floor pans, clutch.
All right. I think what we're gonna do. Let's see if this proves it.
It's just me in the.
I know. It's
Oh.
lazy. Hey, Cam, tell me if that's any better with my phone.
It looks way better. Give it a sec.
Turn the volume down. It's part of the issue. You're not supposed to freaking.
Oh,
There it goes. Am I better?
yes.
All right, Tool. Tool, I'm kicking you out. We're gonna
Okay.
replace with that phone. Oh my goodness.
Also difficult.
Just it's because you own a Honda. That's why it's so laggy.
What happened?
Bro, yeah. Oh no. It turned off.
Oh my gosh! Don't push the button.
Because the button was on the bottom.
Well, there it's on the top now.
And I can see it. Sorry, guys.
Sorry for the technical Tulo. I really can't make this stuff up. This is what I deal with every day.
Yeah.
Why don't you turn it so I'm in there, huh? There we go. Why don't you put it like in between them? You know, it's like your first time doing this. You know what I mean? Hey guys. Oh
Dude,
my
it's so
gosh.
cold.
So okay, stop your complaining. All right. All right. Let's see how we're doing now. How's everybody doing? Sorry. Hey, this is what happens when Tulo takes over.
It is.
There you go. We're okay. All right. We're much better.
Oh,
So,
God.
don't touch it. Oh, is it
Yeah, it's
going
gonna
out?
power off.
Oh, why is it
Oh,
doing that?
no.
Oh, no, it's just the sensor, I think, for it. But just make sure. If you have to hold it, you have to hold it. So, anyways, we are going to bring in our guest speakers. So we're going to start with that because I figured they could, chime in when it comes down to, talking about the products that we're going to be talking about. Let's just fix it.
No.
I don't know why it's doing that. So this is great. Technical difficulties. Should I bring Melissa in at home too, since how we're doing this? Look at her waving. So
All sorts of sketch.
this is all sorts of sketch. So first up, there we go. Blake and Ayla. Welcome them. All right, so they have better internet connection than we do, so we are gonna let them run with it. I might have to disconnect our phone again because of what's happening, and we'll fix it. So also, I can bring in Melissa.
What's up?
She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. All right, we're just having fun here. So, Blake, Ayla, how you guys doing?
Good yourself.
What do you?
Doesn't see both of us because of the two people.
What?
Doesn't see both of us.
Well, then get closer. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. I also can't. You run it. I'm doing the technical side of things.
All right. Hi guys.
There's
I guess
that
we're gonna
echo
do a
now.
little interview. So tell us a little bit about yourself, about Whole Shot Media, and what you guys do.
That's Ayla. I'm
Oh.
Blake. We like to go racing. The end. No, I'm kidding. You guys good over there now?
There's a crazy delay. I can't hear them.
You can't hear us?
Let me see if I can see this.
Oh wait.
Hear him.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Well, I can hear them now. You turned it up. Give us a sec, folks.
What?
Okay. Well, I couldn't hear anything you said. Yeah. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about Whole Shot Media and Outfront Race Fuels. I've heard.
Oh, that company as well. So, Blake here, Ayla.
I hear nothing come through on their end. Well, no, I'm watching the live through my ear and I can't hear them at all. Is what I'm saying. Like I see them talking, but I don't hear it come through on my end.
Yeah, you can.
Dog. Okay.
Saying yours is messed up.
Well, no, I'm saying I can't hear them, so I don't. Bro.
Can chat hear us?
You got Blake checking on you, make sure everything is good.
Yeah, no, I just.
All right. As long as they can hear us, it's totally fine. Tulo, don't worry about it. We're not worried about you anyway.
Yeah, I can hear them on that end, but I can't hear them through the actual live itself.
Yeah, just smile and wave.
You can hear him on the live, right? So it's something you're doing on your
Okay.
phone. Is your phone turned up?
Yeah, no, it's turned up. Oh, now I can hear them. Okay,
You
well,
can hear him?
yeah.
All right, here you go.
All right. Apologies. I missed anything you guys might have said. So a quick recap.
We didn't go too far. We were just waiting on you. So Blake, Ayla, owners and owner operators.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear them with a
HTF
delay, but I
RC.
can't hear them when they're actually talking right now. So
What is?
It's going to be delayed because you're seeing it live.
Yeah.
Live is going to be delayed.
yeah,
You have to learn.
I can't hear them is what I'm saying until it comes through the delay. So when they answer, and then I would have a follow up, I can't give them the follow up until 30 seconds later when I hear it through the earbuds. Y'all,
We should have done a.
you want to
test
ask them
run
the
of
questions
this.
because you can hear them?
Hold on. It's going to happen. Melissa,
Go ahead.
you're coming in.
Hello.
You're going to head this. We have to fix our technical difficulty here on our phone on our end, okay? So talk to Blake. Let him talk.
Blake.
You guys are more live, okay? So let me fix this on our end. We'll be right back.
All right. So we got Whole Shot Media here, you guys. This is an epic day for Satera Tuning because these guys represent a major portion of the Midwest. And as Tulo was saying, if you could reiterate what you do, I'm sorry if I missed it. I apologize for the technical.
Oh, you're
Go on
fine,
my
Melissa.
red box in the backgrounds here, guys. But you've already seen it, so it's fine. But yeah, please tell us a little bit more. Expand on it. Let us know what we should know. What you want everyone to know.
So we started doing this more just Whole Shot Media started as a photography company. I've been involved with racing my entire life. So was Ayla, but in a different capacity. She grew up around dirt bikes and that world. And I said, well, let's come over here, to drag racing. Once I saw
Come to the
what
dark
her
side.
and her dad did with the camera, I'm like, well, I, as a kid filmed a lot. So I said, hey, why don't we just start being a duo, as at that point, boyfriend and girlfriend, and then now, husband and wife, and we just traveled the Midwest and had fun, and really just did that for three-ish years. I know I'm kind of going with a stretch there, but did a lot of events in the Midwest, and then eventually the track owner, bless their heart, at Muncie Dragway, Scott Daniels and Dawn and the entire Daniels family, they approached us and said, "Hey, why don't you like throw some races together or test and tune, just do something, with more of the modern car scene." Which was something that the track was, I don't want to say struggling with, but they just didn't have
Yeah.
the participation that they thought that they should have.
There's a lack of presence even today. I agree.
Yeah.
And the shots you do take, just as a shout out to you guys, is unbelievable. And I know they're up there with like 320. I know 320 does like a different sort of scope, but like the shots that y'all take are on point. So it's amazing to see the presence that you guys gain not only at your track days, and if you could go into a little bit about that, shout out to whatever days you guys got going on, but the presence that you already have there on the days that you guys have scheduled is such a perk, right? Where, the independent companies and, one-off people kind of come in and they're like, well, we don't know if they're going to be there or like when. Like, you guys show up, the presence is there all the time. So I think that is something to be like noted, right, in the community, because a lot of people miss out on that, right? Like, they're busy doing their own test and tunes. They're busy trying to like help a friend out and trying to take their own shots. And it's like a whole mess. Like, I've been there, right? And you guys show up, you are so present, you are so in scope with everything. My eyes are super red. I'm sorry. I'm not doing anything. I am
You're okay.
sick. I'm sorry. Joe told me that earlier. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. But like, that presence is such a huge benefit to everybody, because then you can go out and share, right? And you can show them, not only do you do this, but there's such a different scope. So I don't know if you want to go in a little bit about like how you guys with the track days. I know you had like a partnership and everything, but yeah, if you could just kind of elaborate a little bit more, I'd love to know. I know a lot of people would too.
Oh yeah, and I also want to make sure people know, like, this is not our day job. People think for some reason like all we do is Whole Shot Media, and that Whole Shot Media is one of the 5 things that we truly do. Just behind the computer is a t-shirt press. We also make we do so much more than just this racing little thing that we have. So I also make sure one, we have day jobs, and 2, every picture you see is hers, not mine. So all these fantastic pictures that Satera Tuning uses, that we use, her.
We do have to shout out Ayla with the creative like scope on it, because it like I was saying before, like, these shots are irreplaceable. They're not, you can't duplicate them, right? You can go and try, but she does a fantastic job with it. And I don't think we could have gotten any luckier to know you guys because of this, but it's that. And then tell us a little bit about, just a little quick about the t-shirts, because I know we have a few like small tokens of them as well. So you guys have been doing that for quite some time.
That's been the shortest tenure. Yeah, well, whatever I'm trying to say, tenure. But it's really just a hobby, because we had some issues with some vendors, and as Jeremy knows, it's like, all right, well, if someone's not going to do it, I'll just do it my damn self.
Right.
Because pricing got out of control, lead times got out of control, the quality was just
sketchy.
So it's just like, I'll just do it myself. Because she got a Cricut at one point, and then that turned into, well, why don't we just make a lot at one time?
Yeah,
and then down goes the rabbit hole, and off we go.
You could do so much more with the Cricut, but no, that's fantastic. And like, you guys come like with such a presence when you do these track rentals days. I don't know what you're calling them, and I apologize, but I guess it depends per state where you go. But
really with our events, they're a little bit of everything. We do some coverage for Muncie Dragway, for some of their bracket events. the Night of Fire, usually their banquet. So that is here and there. But on top of what we do there, we do both track rentals, where we kind of host like a just a private track day. And what that mainly is for is so that you can come out, not worry about having 1,000 other cars. You pay a little bit more, for the premium, but you're getting the best track prep you can possibly find. You're getting dedicated time where you're not going, well, if I have to make a pass between 1 and 2, then I don't get anything between until 4 or 5.
Just hot
So
lap it.
so that time window, the prep's great. Usually she's taking pictures,
Lots.
unless I'm testing, so there's so much that truly comes with it. It's not just all right, go test and do whatever. We try and make it to where you truly get something out of it, just beyond data or PBs, which that's all some people want, and that's totally fine. But to take it to the next level is kind of what we've always done from day one.
Yeah.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's a great scope on it, and to really understand. So it's Muncie, Indiana.
Muncie,
Indiana. Sorry, I haven't been yet. I think Jeremy has at some point, maybe not. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where obviously, like, don't pop out babies back to back and then try to go to a track rental, which is not going to happen. But like, as we're going, we're like so excited to actually come. We've heard so much about it, right? And it's one of those where it's like a hop, skip, and a jump away, like for a lot of these people, right? And I've heard great things about the track there, right? And I know there's a lot of like competing tracks and, within a couple hours here and there, but that's nothing to somebody who's trying to, race and get and do whatever they want, be involved in the event or, do their PBs or whatever it is. So I think that's something to be said. And I think the community there is, top notch, to be honest. And we need to really kind of like highlight that, right? Because if we don't, it kind of gets lost in the mix, right? Because they're like, oh, you can go wherever we want. Oh, I don't know if you've been listening this whole time. We're just talking about Indiana and the track. Okay.
Yes.
Here, you can take the hot seat right now.
Thank you.
You can have my lunch.
All right. So technical difficulties. I had to fly home.
Solved.
There we go. All right. So I was listening, so I know where we're at. So obviously Muncie, I have been. That's where I got my trophy for 160 mile an hour in the Charger, right?
Yep.
Well, do you have plans of expanding the locations?
Not at the moment. Simply because what the Daniels family has done for us, we're not going to expand outside of that facility because of what they've done for us, the program, the racers, and the money that we produce for them. Just being straight, shooters about that. The money that they put into us, we've given back to them by making sure that there's spectators, there's racers, there's people buying at the concession stand. So as long as the Daniels family is the owner of Muncie Dragway, we're not going anywhere else. There are tracks, that we would like to do some things that that are set up really well for a program like our streetcar race wars, where that's mainly focused around roll racing, where Muncie's got a short run up, but we make it work, obviously. But there's definitely some other tracks out there that are way better, suited for that, where you've got 200-300 feet to actually get the car up to 40 50 60 whatever, and it makes it a lot easier. So for now we're staying there.
No, I get it. It's a great track. Don't get me wrong, but I know us over here, we would like you to come visit more, and it's, I get it. It's the battle of the states, right? So I'll convince you guys one day. So
I mean, we will be there in June?
Yeah.
June. So
okay. What do you do? What do you got in June?
We are doing six summer.
Aha.
So we'll be at GLD once, we'll be at Byron twice, Tri-State, and Cordova.
Woo-hoo.
So
are you guys doing the media forum, or are you helping with the?
No, we're racing that car right there. We are once again showing off the flexibility, the endurance capability, everything of what your company has done for us. tuning wise, parts wise. We're showing off once again. Hey, you can drive this car on the street for 1,000+ miles. Run the dog piss out of it. For a whole week, and it works great. So
Hopefully, shoot, you're putting a lot of pressure on us now. Just
Uh,
kidding.
the only thing I don't want is to break a drive shaft and see her in my mirror, and just the utter disappointment. That's the only thing that we truly broke.
Yeah.
And I was in hot trouble for that.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But if that's the worst case, it's not bad. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I've sent rods through blocks, so I know
Yeah,
how
I-
tough that is.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
No, please no. Please no. But yeah, she should be fun. It's a great event that they have, and it's truly about, street cars, kind of like what you guys are about, right? I know you get a ton of super fast cars out there. And that's the beauty of your event. So for those that haven't been or don't know, I did attend an event with our Charger, our twin turbo Charger Hellcat. I did take a 160-mile-an-hour trophy, and it was a ton of fun, greatly organized, ton of great people. Everybody's out for the same, right? It's although it's competitive, it's a fun competition, and the people are literally there to help each other out. So those that want to go racing, those that want to try, with the test and tune they have, the roll racing, it's a great way to feel the power without having to worry about breaking something on the dig. It's a great time. It really is a good time. So I'm excited to have you guys here and talking about it.
And then to kind of compound on that, we already have our dates for next season, which we haven't even. We're giving you some exclusive information here.
I was going to ask about that actually. So you guys segue right into it.
We're going to release all of our streetcar race war dates presented by Truett Law Offices. Want to give a huge thank you to them as well for coming on as the title sponsor for this season. But if you're looking to attend any of these events, you can also just go on our Facebook page. All of the events are there, and then I will have our website updated, wholeshotmedia.net.
And we will add in the link to this when it goes, onto our Facebook page as well. So those links will be accessible there too. So.
Yep. So you can put it on your calendar for May 23rd, July 12th, August 15th, a tentative date of September 19th, and October 25th. So we try and add one late date in there. Obviously, being in Indiana, it's kind of a coin flip, but if it works out great, we get great air. We get really good air, and we see some really, really fast passes. So that's why we kind of added that later October date. And it's been, crossing our fingers, it's worked out for us the past 2 years. So we're really hoping it does the same for a third year in a row.
Got to get those glory poles in, man. Absolutely. So that's exciting. Melissa, mark it down. Pick a date for one of those. We have to go again.
I like May, September, and then yes.
May and September. You want to go for your birthday?
Yeah.
May, September, yes.
Yes. Done and done. So beautiful. So that's exciting. I was actually going to lead in to see if we could get a time frame for everybody. So it's very well spaced. You know what I mean? So it allows people to really. It's a flexibility with the schedule. So there you go. October. That's getting close to Jeff's birthday. So
yeah. So usually the way that we run the what I refer to as SCRW, because it's a long title.
Yeah.
We have some early, about hour and a half ish.
Mm-hmm.
Of your traditional dig racing, even though this event is really geared towards your roll racing crowd. And also keep in mind, we have everything. So no matter what you have, bring it. It can be. We've had a Honda go. I'm not kidding. 75 miles an hour,
Yeah.
and we also have Mike Bandy showing up in a GTR doing 185.
What about a 1990 Honda Civic?
Bring it.
Oh, we haven't. We haven't.
Whoa, get ready.
So when I say we don't discriminate on any car, truck, SUV, we've had go-karts racing.
Nice.
I race my buddy on an electric scooter. I mean, we race. If it has wheels, bring the damn thing. We have fun. So we started with about an hour and a half of just your regular dig racing, and then the rest of the night is all roll racing. We have these cool fancy lights, so you know exactly where to start. Not I start back. No, the freaking light guy. Come on. So, because people never jump in roll racing,
Right.
wink, wink.
Yeah, right.
No, people would
That's
never
on
do
your
such
eye
a
there,
thing.
Blake. What happened? You okay?
So,
Yeah, it's great. And like I said, it's for everybody, right? Because you guys incorporate the test tune dig racing. So anybody
Yep.
wants to come out for that as well. So it's a little bit of everything, right? And like I said, guys, it's a great time. And if you're in the area or not, travel to it. It's well worth it. I get it. It might not be as competitive as some of these other series that are out there, but I will tell you from the fun factor and just overall good time, it's hard to beat, guys. I mean, like I said, this is extremely well organized. Not with enough with the pedal commanders. Oh my
I was
gosh.
waiting on it.
And now you're getting in this, Chris. Oh, geez, where did they start? So, but yeah, it's an outstanding event. Plus, like they said, they shoot pictures and video clips and everything, so it's well documented. Which who doesn't love that? On top of it, the skill that these two have when it comes to that is just outstanding. So it's a win-win for everybody, and highly recommend, like I said, for people to put on their calendar and attend at least one event because you're going to get addicted and come back for more. So, absolutely well worth it. So, man, these people are funny. So Jeff's coming for my title, he said. I know when we built this car this time, he said he was going to try for it.
Oh, my phone's not up to date. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jeff had an unfortunate incident last time he came out, but he's bigger and stronger this time around. So, that's what it's about, guys. It's a ton of fun. Ton of fun. So,
But then if you're looking for more of a serious event, more of your traditional drag racing event, we also have another series. Shocker, we do more work. Who would have thought, right?
yeah, right.
So this is geared towards your dedicated race cars, but also your street cars that that want to go have fun, like this beautiful machine back here. But that series is called the HSM or Whole Shot Media Drag Racing Series, presented by ASG Automotive. Thanks, Craig. Love you, buddy. I doubt he's watching, but I love him anyway. We have 4 dates for that: May 9th, June 21st, August 30th, and October 11th. I wish I had more information for some class payouts, but I can't give it yet. We're working on some absolutely amazing sponsors to make this event one of the absolute biggest and best in the Midwest. I don't say that lightly. I truly mean we are going at it full force this year, and we've got some great people that will potentially be backing the program and backing us. That I want to say it so bad, but it's just not done yet. So
Love it.
but as soon as I can say it, trust me, it's going to be out there within 2 seconds. But we have a class for just about everything, from your small tire cars to your, what I call wicked, street cars that run mid to high eights. And then we also have all of your indexes, which we do index a little different. Every index or race that you see, it's all either 10.0 or 10.5. And then you have all these guys that are in the middle there that either they choose not to race because they can't go 10.0, or they like, I don't want to slow it down that much. So I said, all right, well, let's be different and cut it in the middle. So we've ran 10-10, 11-20, 10-20, 11-20, and 12-20 for the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a pretty good showing. And plus it gives the guys or girls who don't have an advantage normally, and it gives them the advantage for at least one race out of the year. Then we also cater to the motorcycle guys. They came to us 3-4 years ago, and they're like, hey, we want something to do too. I'm like, well, I don't know much about you, but tell me what you need and I'll do it, right?
Right.
So we have everything from badass small tire cars to your 7 to 8 second. I would consider most of them street cars. I'm stretching it a bit on some, but
that's what the streetcar class is these days, right?
Yeah.
I drove it here like 10 feet. It's a streetcar. I get
it. Just because my wallet can't afford it doesn't mean it's not a streetcar. But anywho.
Right.
So yeah, with that we have a little bit of everything and some really, really fun stuff that will be announced here soon too.
Yeah. And because of how you do it, it fits my fleet of vehicles, because I have a minivan we could enter. It'll be perfect. I have a slow pickup truck with a.
I'm going to need a little bit more encouragement from you guys about the minivan. That's all I'm saying. Thank you. Bye.
Ayla, you're up.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that's what it's about. Like you said, you guys have really tailored this and kind of assessed over the years, right? I mean, you come so long in the years that you've done it, and you really do a great job. It's hard to run these events. People don't really know what goes into them, and you're not going to satisfy everybody, but it's very well thought out into, allowing more participation across the board, no matter what it is, whether it is a street car or if it is a minivan, because we want to bring it out and Hellcat swap it and things like that.
All-inclusive one.
Yeah.
We're pretty lucky with our crowd. I mean, maybe we get 1 or 2 complaints throughout the whole year, and everyone understands that, like, we're not doing this to get rich. We don't make a lot of money, if some weekends any money at all, doing this.
Right.
And we're doing it because the no prep community and scene in this area just went freaking bonkers.
Oh yeah.
And then the guys who were doing radio prep racing, they're like, oh, well, we'll just go do no prep because it's cheaper. At 4 or 5 years ago, it was cheaper, it was slower, there wasn't as many people involved, and now you got to have an open wallet, or else you're not competing. So there's a big shift in how that's going, and I think we're going to see more people come back to the glue side of things, and there's always ebb and flow with but we're really banking on a big season this year.
Further away, you're right by the microphone.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, somebody's getting a snack and it
Listen.
was loud. So,
My name is
but yeah, you're spot on. That going from the glue, like you were saying, to the no prep, it's like the glue disappeared everywhere. It was everything was times off, no prep, run what you brung type thing, and we are seeing the shift as well, where index classing is more popular. People are sharing what they're doing more for bragging rights, and it gives them a class to truly take over. So. And with technology now, the way these cars are moving and how easy it is to make a 9-second, 8-second car, it's just insane. So, that's a cabinet, but yes, exactly. So, yeah, it's you know what I memean. It's pretty cool, and you guys are doing a great job, like I said, tailoring it to accommodate with the changes and things. I don't know if Bob's watching because he's busy, but he's a part of our team, and he races motorcycles, right? And he even said it's dying, and he's the one that came with us when we went with our Charger. And he was just excited to see bikes there and everything. And that's another dying breed that seems to be resurrecting and coming back. So you guys put so much effort into tailoring for everybody. It's outstanding. So like I said, you're not going to please everybody, just like any business that's out there. But, overall, it's a very hard event to beat in regards to what you guys have put into it. So very cool to see you grow the way you have. So if you need it, want to visit again, once you get more dates and stuff, and actual classes, you're more than welcome to chime in anytime on one of these. Yeah. I promise it'll be better than next time. I'm going to head it instead of Tulo, which I can see him watching from. Yeah, I know. It's okay, Tulo. Don't worry.
Yeah, once we
please, if anyone has questions about classes or rules or how we do things, we're here to answer anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I want to make sure everyone knows how much I appreciate how much she puts up with me and the series, because God knows she could have said from the beginning, no, I don't want to do it. So there's not enough credit I can give her for what she puts up with me, for how much she gives herself to the series and to the racers. Like I say, every time I have a platform to say it, she does so much. And I wish people truly, every night I'm like, hey, honey, what do you think about this? What do you think about it? It's a constant barrage. So I just want to make sure I publicly say, like, thank you, because without her, this wouldn't work. So
we love you.
Yeah, we do. It's the Taylor Swift heart.
Yeah.
So, but it's very, very true.
I can't do the.
I can't. I'm still. I'm still recovering. It's okay. So, outstanding. So, again, thank you. For those that don't know, Ayla actually took the full day off of work to be here. Again, just showing the support and, what she does for the community and this program. It's just outstanding. So, all around, thank you guys for what you do, both of you. And we're excited. So as we get closer to the actual races, we'll probably revisit it so it's fresh with everybody. I know right now we're mostly frozen and, kind of just more concerned about that. But yeah, as these tracks start opening again up in the Midwest, we'll definitely revisit so it's fresh for everybody. So
absolutely
cool. Well, I think we covered quite a bit on that subject. Now I think it'd be kind of fun if I can get Tulo to do this. We'll see if we can try our could you, should yous, and let you guys provide feedback on some of the things that we hear on a daily basis. So let me see. Yeah. I don't know if Tulo's phone's working or not, so we're gonna bring him in.
Well, is is Tulo even working? That's the main
That is
question
a good
there.
question.
Every day here is heaven. It is not work.
I can't
It
hear
is
him.
fun.
Can you?
You can't hear me? They can't hear me? All right. Well, I'm going to drop a Honda Civic on myself.
I can hear him from my end, so I don't know if
I'm-
people can hear him.
I was
Give me
just
the
giving
silent
him
treatment.
shit. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is
He
payback.
seems to be. All right,
I
you
don't
seem
want to
be-
hear him, but
Perfect.
Oh my
So-
God, Blake. Listen, I have to deal with your comments every single week of you and Jeff.
now you
with
get
each
to
other.
deal with them
Does
live.
your
Live.
wife know that you're flirting with Jeff every single week?
She says yes.
Oh my God.
This
It's unreal.
This is beautiful. So as
Well,
you were saying,
it's funny. So she
Hey.
knows how busy she knows how busy I am on Fridays because she's like, I thought you were commenting a lot on the feed today, and I'm like, shit, I'm busted.
Hey, we
Oh,
got to do a
man.
live stream with you and Jeff together and see.
oh
I mean,
yeah.
no, we get demonetized so fast.
yeah, probably. Yeah, we got
The
to try to
nudity
keep
would
this
go
going.
crazy.
I got to pay for this great internet at the shop somehow, guys. Come on,
Dude, it's bad.
It's
bad.
so bad.
I
mean,
I can only imagine how horrible I look right now, not just because of the camera quality, but
Well, yeah, because I'm watching on my phone, and we're pretty. I mean, we're nice and shiny. You get proper. You look like I don't know what's going on there, man. That's
can I show?
Yeah.
Can I show new products? I mean, I don't know if people
Yeah.
really like, know what they are. So here's a new product we have. I don't know if you can tell. It's not just black and red. It actually is an intake. It's an intake for a beautiful, beautiful, I believe, 6'4" car. Jeremy ran away. He doesn't want to deal with me. Look at this. Tube filter. We're going to have multiple lines of it, but it is a new product we can offer. You can't tell because of how junk my camera is, but the layering on this is gorgeous. Like, I was kind of skeptical, but when we're talking 3D printed intake, man, is that going to look good? Nah, it looks amazing. That's not just because I work here and because I want to sell these. It's because it actually looks sick. It looks so cool. It gives us a bunch of opportunities to like custom vehicles, like a 3.8 Whipple, 130 throttle body. Kind of hard to jam something in there. We give this to Joe. We say, print something. It takes about however long he takes to hit his keys on the keyboard. He'll come back with the intake, and it will work. So we've done, 3.8 Whipples with a 130 mil throttle body to a stock, red eye airbox. So stuff like that there aren't solutions for. Stuff like this gives us the ability to, we don't have to outsource. We don't have to wait. We just say, okay, I need this. Boom, we make it. It lets us control quality. Same reason why we have CNCs in-house is the quality of the control. If someone's going to make it, kind of like what Blake was saying earlier, if someone can do it, why can't I? You know what I mean? So,
right.
Super cool for this.
So, yeah, for those that missed it, because he's a little choppy, it's the Billet Evolution Induction Solution Series. So we talked about it a couple weeks ago, and we're slowly finalizing the product. So we invested into an updated, invested into an updated 3D printer. There they are, they're back. And it was well worth it. So, the material we're using it takes a lot in regards to be able to print. So we find they're getting it down, and it looks really pretty. So we're going to have full dyno testing for that next week on Chris's car. We have that, a velocity stack, and then we're going to compare it to the stock airbox. So Blake knows from, the OG where I met him, his purple car, how we are big fans of the stock airbox, but it does get to a point where, you need a little bit more. So we are going to be coming out with these series to assist with that. And Chris is at a point where his stock airbox, we did notice a restriction. So we did update it. We really revealed the base dyno pulls for it. It just looks like black holes, man. Your quality on that phone is just, I appreciate it. You trying, but at least you're not like jumping, it seems smooth. It's just very blurry. So we'll stick with that for now, but
You'll have
maybe I'll have to bring it home next time for this. And I grab some lunch here too. So, but yes, one of the product lines. And I know that, Tulo stopped by the CNC machine show, but we have what we are calling our cap valve covers.
Can we go get out there and show that?
Yeah, bring it out. See if it. I mean, you can't really see anything, anyways.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh,
not try. Keep you busy. The cat's about to knock a lunchbox off.
Jeff, I agree with your comment. We're going to take over the Satera page and have a could you, should you at the track.
We can do that. Absolutely. A could you, should you at the track. We went live that one track run we had, and it was complete mayhem. So kind of like how this live started with complete mayhem. So
Well, that's all Tulo's fault. So
it mainly is Tulo's fault. You see how we're doing good. Adults are having a nice conversation. It's clear, you can see. So look
I'm
at that.
write down how much Tulo's fault it is.
Okay, that works. And all right,
Oh.
001.
100.
Yeah. It's
That way.
100%.
That way.
Oh,
Shit. How'd I do it backwards?
it's still backwards.
So pull the Tulo. Well, for those that
You did.
saw when Tulo held that up, so that's our cap valve cover. So the point of this is for, if you're a 5'7" or 6'4" owner and you want something that looks prettier than the plastic ones, this one's for you, right? It also is lower profile, so that way it doesn't have the big baffle on it. And we know that these valve covers are being sold on eBay for $250, $300, $400, $500 compared to our, $1,500 for our valve covers that are over-engineered. So this is a great option for somebody that just wants a small improvement over an OEM 5'7" or 6'4" valve cover. We also went ahead and threaded it in for the same caps we use on our other ones, which will allow for venting if needed. It's not baffled, so do keep that in mind upon purchase, but it's the same as the guys buying $250 ones and drilling holes in it. So we have not test fitted on, race style aftermarket valve train yet. OEM is just fine. We have a couple cars at the shop with Manton valve trains. We are going to test it on for tolerance. But from what we did from a design standpoint is we utilized the same tolerance from the other valve covers internally minus where the baffles are. So, it's not over-engineered, but it serves the purpose of a little better crankcase ventilation if you need. Obviously looks a lot better. And yeah, so that's what we're trying to do. So starting, they're going to be $500 a pair. So you can get yourself we are technically a higher quality billet company in regards to the metal we use. We could go cheaper in regards to that, but we won't cut quality when it comes to pricing something. So we still are using the same aluminum. So we're going to come in at $500 for the pair. As you can see, dual oil cap for your venting purposes. Wow.
Oh.
I see myself in it. That was actually kind of creepy. Very blurry, but I could see myself like a mirror. There you go.
Hi.
There you go. Kind of
They're
working.
shiny, they're cool.
Yeah.
Someone send us a 4th gen Cummins valve cover for just looking at it. Someone send us a Mazda 3 2-liter cover. Any plans for Honda, Jeremy? Any
Honda?
plans for D-Series?
Oh,
D-Series valve cover?
Maybe in like 30 years.
Okay. Can we 3D print one?
You can 3D print one, yes.
All right.
Go ahead and 3D print a valve cover for your Honda. I'll let you put it on. That's fine. John, that valve cover is actually the one that's replacing yours on the driver's side as well, but it's specifically more so designed for 5'7" and 6'4" vehicles, just to replace OEM. So it doesn't have the big fancy baffling in it. So John, on your specific application, you're going to have one valve cover with the baffling in it, which we're going to utilize more for the crankcase ventilation. And then the other is going to be just for fitment, because for those that don't know, John is getting a Monster 426 Hellcat swap in his 392 Wrangler, and it doesn't like to fit. So they're making several revisions, and in the process, it did offer a solution for, the 5'7" and 6'4" crowd. So what?
It's so cool.
I don't know.
It's so cool. Imagine these valve covers, this intake, and then another intake that we make.
Oh, the billet one. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're talking. So those are a couple updates and products coming out. So I just noticed my name says Melissa. That's funny.
Yeah, because you're on her thingamajig.
All right. I can pull it off. So, all right. Now we get to the fun part. Too low.
Yep.
Cue it up, my friend. Let's
me.
get our questions. Let's get our could you, should yous.
You gotta answer more than I would.
I am prepared. Could you, should you beat the living snot out of a car in sub-zero temperatures? It has been frigid here. It has been -1 million. And by -1 million, it's like -15. I got great air. Should I go out and just romp on my car and not have any consideration to that environment?
What do you think, Blake?
If you can get traction, have at it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, there's Bob. Bob jumped in. Perfect. Bob. But so the reason we brought this up, guys, is something that we see all the time is, in regards to tuning and increasing performance on a vehicle, right? for, racers, we talk about DA, or density altitude. So the simulated altitude at any given condition. So it's the amount of oxygen essentially that we can force into the combustion chamber. So when you get weather like we have it, minus 30 degrees with the wind chill, and you have a boosted application, and you have either a turbo, it doesn't matter, any type of power adder in regards to force induction, you are forcing a lot more oxygen inside that engine. So more oxygen means you need more fuel. Now, from a tuning standpoint, we have tables in which we do modify adders for fueling based on temperatures, right? I will be honest with you, as any tuner should, a lot of that is guessing. The reason why, how often do I see a Charger red eye see minus 30 degree inlet temps and know exactly what fuel's needed? So there are some instances where there's a little bit of a guess in there, right? On top of it, the more dense air you get, you might see a boost increase. So again, going back to the timing tables, are your timing tables set for that? Are you going to increase your boost beyond what your map sensor can see? So there are a lot of variables that go into a massive drop in temperature and a rapid increase in DA, in which you still got to monitor it. You probably will talk to majority of tuners out there, and they tell you if it's that cold, like, yeah, I'll go out when it's 30, 40 degrees, guys. I'll beat the snot out of my RHO. I have, I think, like 60 pulls in that thing when it's 30, 40 degrees. But I will tell you, even in stock form, I would avoid going wide open throttle when it's minus 30 degrees outside, purely because you're relying on those multipliers to be extremely accurate. You're increasing the power output too. So depending on what type of modifications you have in place, you don't know. You can exceed an injector limit very quick. We see a lot of 392 guys run Hellcat injectors on E85. And we love these glory pulls when it's, minus 3,000 DA, but you have the fuel system to actually handle it. So the tune could be on point, in which it will, tell it to add more fuel, but do you actually have the fuel that it wants to add, right? The other thing too, at wide open throttle, believe it or not, depending on where you live and what temperatures you might see, if I know you're going to see cold environments with the intake air multipliers, or actually intake air, I do pull timing when it gets super cold out, because the car naturally is going to make more power with, the increased density. It's going to need more fuel. So I do pull a couple degrees out. I know that's not the case where most tuners do utilize hot air to pull timing out, but you do want to consider when it gets super, super cold. So could you abuse it in sub-zero weather? I guess you could if you know what you're looking for and you're careful. Should you? I don't see the reason for it really, because like Blake said, traction. Even in my all-wheel drive 6,500 pound truck on 35-inch motors that, a bunch of sidewall, I can't get traction if I were to try it. So that's another thing to consider is, are you actually going to hook and be able to use that power? Because one really bad thing for a car is bouncing off the rev limiter. People think it's fun. It's not. It's not very healthy, especially when you have an increase in, oxygen that's being forced into that car. So there's just a lot of no's that go into it. I get it if you have the ability to rent a track and get glue down and prep and everything, and you're just trying for a world record like the Demon 170's 8-second pass that they advertise in stock form. Have at it. But the truth of the matter is it's not the safest, guys. So do consider all those things.
Absolutely.
Oh
What?
He asked about a pedal commander again.
Oh, yeah. Should you ban Jeff from the live stream if he keeps asking these stupid questions?
I can't block user on Facebook. I'm just saying.
Oh. All right. You're in thin ice, Jeff.
We never do that. All right. What's the next question, Tulo?
Should you, on a 1,000 horsepower street and strip setup, run a street or race catch can? And should you run 1, 2, 3, 4, 12? More of like a tech question than really a could you, should you, but
yeah, I guess I would say that's not really a could you, should you. We'll revisit the could you, should you with pedal commander. No. That's where it ends. No,
I'm gonna break into your house and steal all your cars. You don't have anything to
say that on. You are live to everybody. Don't say that. That can be held against you.
I'll say it.
Anyway. Okay, say it.
No, back to the question. Catch cans, 1,000 horsepower street car. What should you run? We are fans of running. And I know people like, you don't want to put anything back into the intake. Listen, if you have a proper catch can, it's designed correctly, it will catch those oil vapors and not put oil back into your intake. So we basically try to keep them on there as, sealed street cans for as long as possible. Okay. It's just one of those, you do want to evacuate. So the vacuum assist from a sealed catch can that it sees from the throttle is beneficial to help evacuate it out, right? So again, a proper catch can with proper filtering and elements in place to prevent the actual oil vapors to go back into the intake, keep it sealed as long as possible. Our shop car, which was big horsepower, 160 miles plus, as you guys know, I had 2 vented cans on it with -10 lines going to our valve covers. I never had a crankcase ventilation issue. So what are signs of increased crankcase where you need help, right? You're going to see seals blow out, rear main, valve cover. We talked, I think, last week about how we have a twin turbo 392 that has poor ventilation just because it has stock 392 valve covers. He blew his valve cover gasket out. It literally just shot it out sideways and was spraying oil out. So you start to lose seals. It also can have a negative impact on rings as well. And you can see an increase in oil consumption entirely because the pressure is fighting against the rings during the combustion phases. So there's no true measurement of it. Is more better than not enough? Yeah, it's one of those. If you want, 4-12 lines running to 4 catch cans, go for it. But you got to kind of feel it out, and there's no true formula to it. You just got to have to try with all of them. Most scenarios, we see 1 catch can per bank is good enough with 1-10 hose. But real big race cars, real big horsepower might need more. But I know the 8-second cars we posted this past week, both making 1,200 plus, they don't have 1, maybe 2 catch cans on it that are just properly set up. Nobody's running 3 or 4, and they're not massive. I mean, you see ours, they're an oversized, Coke can basically. So there's a point where too big is unnecessary, but we do oversize our catch can slightly for the reserve air to help prevent. Because if you have too small of a catch can, it's just going to get sucked right back in and doesn't give it the enough space. So that's why we sized ours the way that we did. So good question.
Boom. I love it. Should you on a, street car, let's just keep it simple, 5.7 centrifugal supercharger. Should you do a bigger throttle body? Is your throttle body stopping, creating a restriction, 500, 600, 700 horsepower in that range?
So are you specific on the centrifugal blower?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. We'll group centrifugal and turbos together. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
So Blake, what do you think? Is bigger better?
Is bigger better for? I was kind of zoned out.
I saw
it's not my turn yet. I don't have to pay attention.
So we're just talking about putting massive throttle bodies on a centrifugal blower supercharged car or a turbo car. So
Putting massive ones on there? No.
Yeah, so let's say I have a Hellcat that I just decided to gut the blower and put turbos on it. Do I need to go get a Kong 108 millimeter throttle body on that bad boy?
Negative.
Exactly. The reason why here, everybody, is because with a centrifugal blower or a turbo, you're forcing air into the intake manifold. So as we talk about, you want to kind of spec your piping size and the path to your runners to be equal to that of the discharge portion of your power adder. So on a centrifugal blower or a turbo, you just want to match what that pipe is. There's no reason if you have a 3-inch discharge on your compressor housing to go with a 5-inch charge pipe, because all you're doing is making that power adder work. It's going to have to fill that pipe before it makes it to the intake manifold. And then guess what? Those runners, when you look at the runners, they're a lot smaller than that of a throttle body, right? You're not really seeing a restriction until you get to that runner. So all you're doing is creating lag or reducing the time in which you are actually creating boost. So it's all about speccing. It's kind of along the same lines of where we say you want the smallest turbos or blower to get the power that you're looking for. Same thing with the throttle body, because it all comes down to, 1, it makes it easier to tune, and then 2, you don't need just a big opening from a throttle body when everything else doesn't change. So this is coming from a street car. 98% of the population, when building a car and you have a century blower or a turbo blower, bigger throttle body is just useless. So good question, but we get asked it all the time.
Should you 2-inch headers, long tubes on a NA cam only car?
What do you think, Blake?
No, unless you just really enjoy the sound.
There you go. That's exactly what it is. So when you go too big on an NA car, you lose kind of the benefits of what the headers do. Again, you think about the exhaust flow. It relies on the piston pushing the exhaust gases out through the valve right into the exhaust, and then the Venturi effect, we relying on the long tubes to pull it through. You lose that velocity because of too large of a pipe. Now, bigger headers, 2-inch headers, will give you a thump, right? It's deeper, and I don't know what's going on over there, but it gives you more of a thump. So yeah, it sounds good, a lot deeper, but the reality is you do kill velocity and lose out on the benefits of what the headers can do on that given application. So that's why you want to spec accordingly. Most NA applications are great at 1 and there we go. Bird babies, it all makes sense now. So yeah, most NA applications, especially on the Mopar platform, you're good at a 1 7/8. When you're boosted with the blower, go 2-inch all the way. The less restriction you have, the better it will be overall. So it's less fighting, right, for the blower to try and make it through all of that pathway. But Blake hit it on the head. Unless you want more of a thump and a deep sound to it, stick with the 1 7/8. You will not see truly a benefit unless you get, like that 454. I think MMX has that 454 cubic inch stroke kit that they have. That's one, if you go with high compression and a bit nice proper intake on it, maybe you could get away with the 2-inch for what that does. But like I said, 98% of the NA applications out there, 1 7/8 is the way to go. So Blake knows what he's talking about, everybody.
Sometimes.
What's next? What's next, Tulo?
What's next? Should you get parts picked up when other parts get dropped off? No. Someone just dropped off an oil pan, didn't pick up the other one. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec.
Well, I got one here. I know you forgot the board. That's why I was trying to hint at it. So Jeff has a good one. Should you run cradle lockouts if you have a 1-piece drive shaft? So that was a good one. So the answer, I'm going to jump right into that one, so I'll give Blake a break. The answer is it's required. So that's should you? It's a yes. Now, so what people might not know that are newer to the game, early on with 1-piece drive shafts, it actually was causing drive shaft or transmission failures on top of drive shafts and rear ends. And the reason why is these things are so heavy, guys. Mopars are just boats. So if you actually slow-mo a direct profile shot of these cars launching, and Blake has some of them out there if you visit his YouTube and stuff, you'll actually see the wheel tire walks forward in the wheel well before the car actually moves. Now, that's all those bushings flexing because that tire is trying to propel, but everything's so heavy, so there's a delay. So with the 1-piece drive shaft, what was happening is those bushings were allowing the drive shaft to push itself into the tail housing of the transmission. So now you're putting force on the clutches and the gears and the baskets and shafts and everything like that. So transmissions were failing. Rear ends too, on the vice versa, going backwards. If after it launched and it settled, would force its way back into the into the rear end, causing those to fail. So it took a while, but Drive Shaft Shop figured it out and basically says, you look on their website, it discloses you need to lock out your rear cradle if you go to a 1-piece, and it seemed to remedy the issue. I know a lot of people, they were in the hot seat for a while, Drive Shaft Shop, with the failures of their drive shafts as well. And it turned out to be that the bushings were allowing too much movement. So it definitely is required. So should you run a cradle lockout if you have a 1-piece drive shaft? Absolutely, if you want anything to live. So Jeff, that's a good one for the crowd to know. So absolutely. All right, Tula, what's the next one?
On that driveline question, should you stock diff with a diff brace or go big guns and do a 9-inch conversion?
So, Blake, what are you running? Well, how about this? Is there like a power number? Like, what do you think? Time-wise power number? Give us a threshold.
Me?
Yeah, well, I'm saying for the question. You're talking about,
a million.
Switch to 9-inch, what power number?
1400.
All right. So, Blake, what are you running in yours?
Mine's just the factory diff with the big old diff brace.
Yeah, the performance diff brace, right?
Yes, that one.
So my shop car, which made 1,500 weight horsepower, twin turbocharger Hellcat, I had the 309 rear end with a diff brace, and I cut high 260 foots in it, weighing over 4,700 pounds. If you actually look at majority of the fast Hellcats that are out there, they have stock rear ends. The guys I posted this week, 8-second full weight cars weighing 5,000 pounds and more, they were stock rear ended cars with performance diff braces. So these units, when set up correctly, they last. I mean, Mike Pashos with his 426 3.8 Whipple was leaving in second gear with his 262 rear end with the diff brace and cut a 1,299 60 foot, and his car weighs all of 5,000 pounds when he's racing. So it yeah, I mean, these stock rear ends are stout. Now, when you look at race car, that's a different story, right? Depending on if you need to change your gearing a little differently, you know, Turbo 400 cars would want a little better options than what's available for stock. So, yeah, you know, at that 1400, I think it would more so depend on what transmission you're running and what the purpose of the vehicle is. But if you're running an 8-speed, I mean, we've kind of proven that you really don't need much more, in my opinion. So I've only installed a couple 9-inch rear ends, and honestly, after doing it and seeing the cost, I think it's better to have a garage full of, like, you know, stock replacements than having to fish out, you know, what a 9-inch rear end costs to convert it over. So, yeah, I mean, Jeff, yeah, and his too, a 262 with a diff brace. And you were at the 309 and we switched it back. Yeah, Brad, you're at a 309. We leave in second gear on that one too. So stock rear ends, man. I very few out there. If you're a race car, gutted, parachute, you know, cage, plexiglass, then, you know, 9-inch just gives the flexibility and we know it's strong. But these stock diffs have proven themselves well. So
the amount of cars out there that are truly dedicated race cars to warrant a 9-inch are not. There's not that many out there.
No.
And I wish there was more, but there's not.
Yeah.
To the degree of suspension. But yeah, I could go on and on about that. But yeah, there's not.
Yeah.
There's not enough cars there that really warrant that.
Yeah, I agree. It's, you know, and even, I mean, like I said, even the guys now that are, you know, setting records and pushing the limits, they're still stock, you know, but again, I think it's transmission based. It is one of the other things when it comes to the actual gearing too. So when you got 8 gears, you know, total, another fur baby, let's go outside. It's too hot in that house.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, I think it's great. You know what I mean? Yeah. The 309s and the 15s. Brad, to answer your question, all Hellcats standard rear end is a 262. When the Demon came out, they had the 309 in it and then made it optional for the Challengers only. Sadly, the Chargers couldn't get it. But yeah, the 309 is the same rear end that's in the 392s actually as well from the factory. So standard Hellcats are 262s. 309 was an option in the Challengers. So good question for those that are wondering. But that's the other thing too, is the 309 in a Scat Pack is the same exact 309 in a Hellcat. So food for thought, little bonus piece of information there for you. So, but good question. Good question.
I got a good one relating to diffs. Should you put a 309 LSD in your non-LSD 309 RT car? Yes. There's no reason you shouldn't. Whole bunch of fun.
Yeah. Should you? Sure. Is there going to be a big, massive performance gain? I mean, you can do better burnouts, you know,
it's fun. You can swing that thing.
And I guess it depends on the power level you're at too, and you. But what you're going to be using the vehicle for, right? If you are going to be hitting the drag strip and everything like that, it will aid with the 64 in regards to consistency. So, but yeah, you know, you don't expect to throw a 309 into a 309 car and expect it to be faster.
No,
you know, reduction in wheel peels and you know, having the ability to hopefully better hook with proper rubber, but it's not truly a performance gain. So depend on your power goal and intention of the vehicle. It is harder to break an open diff, in my opinion. So, you know what I mean? It's probably better too low if you stick with those instead of throwing LSDs in your cars. But who knows?
Well, no, I mean, the 300 is great. It was a little gear change. I noticed it more like highway cruising. The gear change for acceleration for like merging and passing. But I mean, I can get sideways so much easier and maintain it, which is kind of. I don't like doing the takeovers. I just like crashing into a farmer's field. So. Absolutely. Blake, should you store a car with E85 in it over the winter?
Over the winter? Absolutely not.
Okay.
What? I thought I was getting judged there for a second. I was like, I start my car every week.
Yeah.
And he redlines it.
That's a question.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Because it's going to get, you're going to gum up the injectors, and when that fuel sits there, it kind of just gels up. So whether you are storing it in your car, whether you're storing it in a drum, a pail, one, if you are storing it in either a pail or drum, keep it sealed, and keep it somewhere that it's going to see the same temperature. You know, whether it's out in the garage and it sees, you know, that consistent, you know, 20 to 40 or 70 to 90. You know, don't also let the temperature where you're storing your fuel go up and down, you know, every single week. But yeah, never, ever, ever let your car sit all winter on E85.
You nailed it. And for those to clarify too, you can have E85 in the tank, just start the car, right?
Yep.
It's just is minimal. So we review it, we look at it as when you say storing it, that's where you're just not doing anything. It's just sitting there, usually under a cover and not being maintained, right? So like Blake said, he starts his every week, right? If he's doesn't have pump gas available. So you can do that, and because you're allowing it to circulate, it's not sitting stagnant. So that's our rule of thumb where, 2 weeks at the most, and beyond that, you're going to start to run into issues. And that's where our recommendation comes in for cleaning the injectors, pumping the fuel out, getting new fuel in it come time. So
you gotta tear it off to me.
What?
Yeah.
I was gonna say right when you were done, but you stole my thunder.
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
I was gonna say, hey,
Control
after each winter, we take our car up to this wonderful shop, Satera Tuning, cleans out my injectors, does a good old health check, make sure the car's good to go. So after each winter, even if you're racing a bunch and if you're truly putting some miles on your car, whether you're racing or not, make sure your car's serviced. I can't preach do your maintenance enough. There's so many cars I see fail. Like, just do your simple maintenance. The $100 to $500 now might save you $5,000 down the road. So do your maintenance. Take it to Jeremy's shop. Let him clean your injectors. Let him do the simple, easy stuff now, or else you might be paying for something a lot more expensive in the middle of summer, and then now you have nothing to do. So
yeah.
My tip for the day.
You said you perfect. I'll send you that money I talked about earlier, but he nailed it. Everybody. Maintenance, we call it preventative maintenance, right? I hear people, I go in 3 years without doing it. It's okay. Okay, that's cool. But I use the joke, like, would you wait to change your oil until the rod makes an appearance? Like, it's preventative. So it is one of those things where and Blake, it's not just because he's here. I have more data logs off of this man's car than anybody I tune in regards to beating on it. And he's not a race car. He's not. I mean, there's miles on this car every time I see it because he drives it. And the reason he's able to do that is because of the maintenance he does. And he knows he's grown up around this stuff. And that's him just speaking from his experience, what he's taught and seen. It's true that preventative maintenance goes a long, long way. Jeff, for example, in here, we just finished, rebuilding his 426 and everything. And we found out what melted his motor. He had a bad injector, ID 1700 that wasn't that old. And, he was driving it through the year. We went to actually Blake's event and he melted a piston down and it turned out that his injector was bad. So you never know. And I get it. Yes, the guy on the internet said he went 5 years and didn't started up and then went racing. Like, all right, guys, there's one-offs for everything. But
always
the fact of the matter is anything. One, E85 is harsh, right? It's brutal on anything. Alcohol is just brutal. So the fact if you're using that, you know what I'm saying? It's just taking that extra step. You're getting a lot more longevity out of it. And yeah, like Blake said, $5,000, $10,000, it could save you just by doing a little couple $100 worth of maintenance here and there. So,
my other TED talk for the day. Now I'm starting to rant here. It doesn't matter. I've seen programs of your cheapest stuff, and I've been around John Force. Literally, think of how many hundreds of, probably now millions of dollars he's spent on R&D to make sure he has the best stuff out there possible. Everything breaks, people. Doesn't matter, like with what Jeremy said, doesn't matter if Bob got 500,000 miles out of his 309 diff. Well, Jim might get 5 miles out of 4 of them. Everything breaks. Everything's mechanical. Everything will at some point let go. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, and that's and I tell my guys to talk to the customers. The one they love to use is candle, right? Every car you get is a candle. I had a candle around here, right? And you get it with one wick and that's stock. Now you get 10 candles and light them at the same time. Are they all going to burn out at the same time? It's not going to happen. And then you start adding more wicks for every modification you do to it, right? Well, guess what? The failure rate's going to be different. Yes, everything will fail at some point. It's a matter of when and some people get lucky. We don't have that luck. My red eye shot a rod and I wasn't even making that much power. I have customers out there making 200-300 horsepower more and mine shot a rod, right? So you never know. But you can take these steps. And as long as you put as much effort into the preventative maintenance, you're going to get the most life out of it. So, I wish my candle was here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Tula, welcome back.
Speaking of, is there something that we may offer for our friends with Hellcat powered vehicles that makes winter storage easier? If, let's say they put 93 in there changing maps.
Oh, you're talking about this. Yeah, so the rebranding, great segue in. So we have the most people viewing right now, so it works out well. We talked about briefly rebranding our Flex Fuel. Now, part of the reason why we are rebranding is I will now offer this remotely. So I've never done this before. It's one of those things that for those that have utilized the service from us before, it takes a lot of work. It does take a lot more tuning than that of a normal tune. That's why we kept it in house to speed it up. So we've done so many of them now, and with technology advancements, HP tuners in our corner, we have sped the process up. We get emails every day, messages every day about people across the world that want it. And I think it's time that we now offer this to the public remotely. So for those, we are going to rebrand it as the Satera Tuning or Satan Censored Flex Fuel. Okay, so we want to give more of a direct understanding to what it is and the different type of flex fuels that are available. So our flex fuel uses an ethanol content sensor. So get the name, censored flex fuel, that feeds back into the factory PCM. So for those that don't know, GM is the one that developed the flex fuel, and they used an ethanol content sensor that fed into the PCM. So I have worked very hard to adopt this practice and implement it into the Mopars. So we use a sensor, it changes all the settings. Now, the beautiful thing about how ours works is we are the only one that offers a boost bleed safety feature. So if you're a high boosted application like Blake, and he gets a bad tank E85, or he's traveling across the country to drop off an Xbox to a good friend and surprise him, and he can't find good E85 on the way, and he were to fill up on pump gas, right? And he goes to pass a semi. Guess what? Ours is going to bleed boost and put it in a safe range to where he can do that. Nobody else can offer that. And it's based on a reading from that ethanol sensor, okay? So Flex Fuel, what it does is it changes fuel, spark, torque management, airflows, all of those settings to accommodate the tune, so you don't have to change anything. It just does it by itself. So convenient, and like we said, we have extra safety measures in place to keep it as safe as possible. That's what we are about. Street cars that you can race, just like Blake's, right? Not race cars for the street. So he is a perfect example. One of our good. That's where the push and motion package came from. That car behind him on the wall is where we developed our push and motion package, which is a flex fuel equipped 9-second stock boost red eyes. So chargers and challengers, if you're stock boost and you want to run 9s, you can just get our flex fuel, a set of injectors, and run 9s. So
we proved that you can do it.
Yeah, several times, and we have several after him that have done it as well. So it is consistent and it does work. So we are now again offering the Satan censored flex fuel to the public remotely. This is new. We have never done this before. We used to do it through our shops, but now we're going to give it to our end users. So we are going to develop instruction manuals for installation and things like that. So bear with us. If you want to get an order on it now, we absolutely will accommodate. It's just the early stages. We'll put up another YouTube video like we did our Demon 170 flex fuel to aid with the installation. But it's something new, and we're just rebranding it to reduce some confusion. So again, the Satan or Satera Tuning censored flex fuel is what we offer. What are the other flex fuels that you can find from other people? First one we'll talk about is the piggyback system. I won't use names of companies, but essentially it's a piggyback computer that you plug into your injectors. It does have an ethanol content sensor. Based on the ethanol content sensor, it alters the signal to the injectors to demand more fuel in the case you have ethanol. Does it work? Yeah, absolutely. So it's a good way to compensate for the fueling needed for ethanol. Downside to it, there's no timing adjustments. And anybody that knows or runs ethanol knows that's one of the perks is that you can get a little more power by the timing. So you do miss out on that with the piggyback system. The other thing as well is the computer does not know how much fuel the vehicle is using. So if you go from pump gas to E85 and you increase your fuel demand by 35%, your fueling may be on point in regards to end result, but if you review a data log, your injector pulse width is stock. The problem there lies that the torque management and airflow is based off of the injector, right? It's all part of the calculation it does. So if the computer doesn't know how much fuel is actually being used, you might not be getting the proper shift schedule and characteristics. So Not a fan. That's why I don't use them. So piggyback. Last one that's available for this platform is Inferred Logic. So yes, Inferred Logic comes from OEM manufacturers across the board. Mopar, Ford, GM, everybody uses it now. But if you review, they do it in very low powered vehicles where a margin of error is much greater, where if it's not accurate, it's not going to blow stuff up. Why is that? Inferred Logic Flex Fuel. It uses your O2 sensor readings to guess what the ethanol content is. That's right. There's no ethanol sensor in place. So if you're on pump gas and you start adding E85 and your O2 sensor reading starts adding fuel slowly, it increases its guessed ethanol content until it zeroes out your O2, your fuel trims. It goes, okay, I have 70% ethanol in the tank, right? Do you have 70%? I don't know. Unless you have a gauge in place, you can cross-reference, right? But that's what Inferred Logic is. Now, this one does adjust timing. It does adjust fuel, airflows, torque management, everything like that. So a properly set up Inferred Logic setup with a 100% mechanically sound vehicle can function very well. There are a lot of good tuners out there that have spent a lot of time perfecting this style. And the good ones will tell you to still put in an ethanol content sensor just to cross-reference, right? Now, the things you got to watch out for this one, if your O2 sensors are getting a false reading, so if there's an exhaust leak, if there's a vacuum leak, if they're going bad, because the most common condition of an O2 sensor failing is it shows a lean condition. Lean means it's going to add fuel and guess that it has more ethanol in the tank, okay? So what you have to remember from that is if your O2 sensor, if you have an exhaust leak and all of a sudden it's adding 30%, 40% fueling on it because of the exhaust leak, it thinks you're on E85, but you're on pump gas. Well, guess what? When you're on E85 with an E85 tune, what do you get with timing? All of it. So you now would have pump gas with E85 timing. Not good, right? Now, again, the guys out there that have spent the time to develop it with HP tuners, the patch that's out there and everything, have a lot of time into it. And there are ways to make sure it is accurate. So if I were to do it and I didn't have this Satera Tuning censored flex fuel available, I would go and pursue an Inferred Logic setup. But the reason I developed mine was to mitigate any risk and to put in as many safety measures as possible, because that's what we try to do, is maximize reliability and power at the same time. So these are the different variables and types of flex fuel, right? You have your Satan censored flex fuel, which we are offering now to the public remotely. You have your piggyback system and your Inferred Logic. I guess the order I would say it is the Satan censored, the Inferred Logic, and the piggyback if I were to utilize one, okay? We do not offer anything but the censored flex fuel just because we know our system works and we have a lot of development behind it, and we do feel it is the safest based on our experience. So you can't call us to get Inferred Logic. If you do call us, I will refer you to people that do it if that's the way you want to go. But like we said, we are now offering it to the public. So if you want our censored flex fuel setup, keep Tulo busy, give them a call, shoot them a message, get your quotes in, and we'll start shipping these out. So
if you live in Canada,
I thought we were on a roller coaster. That's how we.
some of our friends that live a little bit more international have hit us up saying, please give us your true flex fuel. I've sadly had to say sorry, it's in-house only. And then some discussion was had. Now you can get it. Hit me up. We wanna be able to buy another Honda Civic as a shop car. Great cars, except they get hit left and right. Someone backed into me, didn't leave a note. Kind of upset about that.
You deserve it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
Darren
brought up a good point too, and this actually happened to a customer. So talking about failures, right? There's flaws to all systems. Something I do want to say about our censored flex fuel. If the ethanol sensor fails, it defers to pump gas. So it doesn't keep E85 timing into it. So somebody actually bought a Durango Hellcat that we did our censored flex fuel on. He picked it up and it's making no boost. And I said, what's your gauge reading in the glove box? He goes, it's not turning on. For whatever reason, don't know why, but the gauge isn't working. He says he filled up on the 85. The car thinks it's on pump gas. So it just saved his motor by bleeding all that boost. So again, all about the fail safes in place if there is a mechanical issue. So our ethanol reading comes directly from the fuel rails. You can't get more accurate than that. And that's 100% what the tune's based on. So whatever that ethanol sensor actually reads is what you're going to get performance-wise. So good segue into it. You got any more questions for us?
Do we have anything else to announce, possibly truck-related?
Truck-related? Did you talk about it when you were out there? You were underneath it.
I don't know. I showed it a little bit, but I didn't get too in depth because my camera, you couldn't see much of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were
Yeah.
somebody called you Minecraft Tulo. So
Yep.
So for RHO updates for anybody watching that's interested, so my RHO is now IGLA equipped with anti-carjacking. So that's what we added, IGLA. We added our billet evolutions induction solutions intake on it. And we also have our wall art mid pipe. So it is catless. So the video we posted to tease our Friday live was with the RHO with no mid pipes on it. So it is catless at this point. I think we are the first to do it. Still sounds like crap right now. We're hoping for a slight improvement out of it. You do hear the turbos more. I will say that. I know from a performance standpoint, because these cars have 4 cats on it, that it will be significant in regards to improvement. So I anticipate a large jump in fuel economy as well as obviously power output. So I'm already on the verge of blowing the transmission out of this thing. So I'm talking to HP tuners, and we might have a way where I can tune this transmission fully because it's an HP 75 and we know we can access it. So first we just have to access it. So if I can't, what I'm going to do is pull it out and bench flash it just so I can get it in there. But my truck's making 600 wheel already, before we did these modifications to it. So I anticipate with my calculations, I should be able to make about 700. We also, from what we can tell, I'm pretty sure I can run full E85 on the truck without any fuel system updates. What boost level I can run, I don't know, because right now I don't have full fuel control. So that's why I am not running full E85 at the moment. We are limited on how that works with the way the JP4 is. So the team at Burger Tuning is seeing what they can do to increase it, because we're at like 20-30% safely now, but that's because of the limitations. So we'll see what we can kind of throw in there after to accommodate for full corn, but we're just getting everything in place for the time being. There is a handle that I know that is going to be mass producing this mid pipe for the RHOs and hopefully for the other Hurricane equipped Rams. I don't know if anybody with a Wagoneer or Grand Wagoneer is going to want one. If you do, let me know. We can work it, but the Rams definitely, it's going to be a full cross support for it. So beautiful wall art to come on a piece of wood.
Yeah.
It'll have all the hardware as if you wanted to equip it to a vehicle. You can't do it.
Come out like that. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
So you can see what it would look like. Because it's art. It's wall art like the white bread. You mount it on your wall. We're giving you hose clamps. We're giving you self-tappers. Figure it out. It's wall art.
Yeah.
It's wall art. It's wall art.
Yeah. Michael's back with a Magnum update. So I updated on the RHO. You update him on that.
Oh, boy, the longer I spend under it, the more rot I find. It's been in like 7 accidents, so I was trying to put some front end stuff on, and it wasn't aligning quite right, so I had to tool it a bit. But now everything's on in the front. There's a power steering cooler, which is the earlier junk boxes have. I don't know why there's a power steering cooler. I'm just probably going to get rid of it. Maybe put some brake line in there with a hose clamp. Just really make it trash. But we're getting closer with each day. No exhaust leaks. I'm probably just going to do a dump in the middle and not even run the cat back I had.
So my understanding, you have the turbos fully mounted now. And the
turbos fully mounted, intercooler in place.
Yeah, and then we talked to HP tuners, and they're sending over an updated harness for us, so we can try this core unit on it. So we'll start at first with the 392 intake and everything on the stock ECU to make turbo noises, but we are working with HP tuners to get a harness for us, and hopefully have the crank sensor settings in place that we need to run this on the core still. So that is still the plan for it.
Absolutely. What else? I think that's about it. Oh, I'm getting some new. In the process of trying to make the 8-speed turbo kit work, just first off, buy the parts that are right for your car. This goes for everything. This is, don't try and put a blower on your car that wasn't made for your blower, because typically it doesn't work and it's not a straightforward fit. I've been there. That didn't teach me. So I got a turbo kit that wasn't, whatever. My trans lines, had to bend them a bit. Now they're leaking. Nag-1 trans lines are extremely hard to find, apparently. I found out they're back-ordered indefinitely, which is awesome if you need them. And there are really no good aftermarket solutions unless you want it to leak again. So I got a lead on some trans lines. If anyone wants to sell more trans lines, I guess I'll buy those. and start hoarding those as well. Let me hoard parts. I love hoarding parts. I just need
they
like
stay in my shop. No more hoarding. You
I need
just
a
got
storage
rid of a
unit
bunch.
for it. I'll buy a
Like
storage
the
unit so I
space.
can like go and sit and be like, I feel pretty.
Nobody listened to him on that, anyways.
Someone rent me a storage unit.
Nobody listens to him anyway.
Yeah, right. That's well, kind of. Brett, I did see Brad Moose ask about the part numbers between the Red Eye and the Hellcat and the differences. So the 309 is the exact same in all, Red Eyes, Hellcats, whatever the case. 309, Scat Pack. They did have a different part number for the Demon in 2018. That was purely just for tracking when it was Demon, but it's physically the same pumpkin. So in regards to the only difference right now in a 309 rear end when it's an LSD is for the Demon 170, they physically changed the whole thing. It is a completely new pumpkin entirely. But from Red Eye, the original Demon to Hellcat to Scat Pack, the 309 is the same. There are just different part numbers for tracking purposes because the Demon, they want a VIN for it and they want to track it for any type of replacement because of what it was at the time. But any 309 is the same minus that. And yes, Eric, if the transmission goes on the RHO, it will be sent to Sipple. I hope that doesn't happen. I know tuning-wise, I can keep it alive at about 650 foot-pounds of torque if I can get my hands in it. If I can't, I know if Sipple builds it without tuning, it will be able to live the power where I'm at now. But sadly, I am limited because we're still trying to gain access to it. So the good news is we got the IGLA on it, which gives us kind of a head start in regards to, capabilities of accessing the internals on it. So you can't steal it. Haha. Joke's on you, Blake. We're waiting for you for yours.
It's not spring yet, sir.
I'm just trying to get there. Okay. It's warm vibe, warm thoughts. Okay. We're working on it. Warm thoughts. So,
just imagine next week though.
Yeah.
So, you got any more questions, Tulo?
I'm about tapped out.
All right, I got one. Blake, what's your next mod?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know.
On the spot. See how I did that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Come on.
Well, I've been back and forth. You know.
I know. That's why you got a little crowd here. You got what? 15, 16 people. You got Tulo. Melissa's in the background. I got a cat here, so we can all discuss it.
Spend
Why
money.
Why don't we do zoomies? Like zoomie headers, be cool, be loud, be obnoxious.
Zoomie.
I don't.
Yeah.
Functionality. No.
They do function. They're light. It helps. It helps with lightness. It helps with everything. It helps with the cool factor.
I could go on a diet. That would help with lightness.
I mean, you're not wrong. You can start like cutting off body parts you don't use all that often. I haven't used my left arm in a couple days. I'll save you 50 pounds right there, maybe. I don't know how much an arm weighs. I'm sorry, guys.
I don't know. I've been back and forth on it. We talked about doing a whole cam kit, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with the noise, and then
What do you mean?
I don't want to.
What do you mean? You don't want to deal with the noise? What kind of car do you own?
He's been there.
Exactly. I've been there. I've done it
already.
Well, do it again.
Do it again. Turbos,
honest to God.
You know Jeremy as well as anybody else because Tulo doesn't pay attention.
No, he doesn't.
Tulo had turbos before you.
If I do something, it's got to serve a purpose. Like everything we've done, there's been a reason for it. Like we get but it's like muted. I don't know how much further I want to push the car because shit's not cheap, right? And what am I going to gain out of truly making that car faster?
A quicker ET.
But why? I don't need. I don't need to right now.
You get I don't have it here because I'm at home, but you get a trophy from Whole Shot Media for a higher mile an hour. So, which one do you have now? You need to get the next one. Oh, look, there it is. See? You can't. It's so blurry too low. You can't see it. But
yeah, you can also get home. You can get home faster with a faster car, so you can spend more time with the family, and then you don't. Right. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you can see it, but
we can see it. We see it on yours, yeah. But see what I'm saying? What do you get? You get a faster ET, turbo, you get a cool whistling noise. You know what I'm saying? Flexibility, right?
Yep.
So The rumor is, I'm just saying, even if it, hey, look, it's Captain Helmet. Everybody's jumping in. It's just a party.
Damn, get in here.
Yeah, of course.
Good, right there.
Oh dear. It just went. This is what happens when I'm not there. It just goes south. The rumor is, though, Blake, maybe instead of doing it this spring, right, we'll just do the maintenance and stuff like that. There might be a single turbo kit for sale come next winter that will have a full catback going to the back.
Oh, really? There might be.
Huh?
Something like that.
I said there.
Yeah.
It'll
It'll come with an intake manifold, a single turbo, full 4-inch catback, ready to bolt on. So
what color?
If you do that, because we're moving the blower, you get the efficiency back. So we can make the same power with a lot less boost.
A lot less boost.
And it's one of those you cool noises, right? Fuel economy bump for your road trips. Who doesn't like that?
But it makes cool noises today.
It does, but cooler noises.
Oh, cooler. See, sold cooler noises.
Got it.
Tulo, see? Take notes. That's how you sell right there. Say cooler noises. Boom. I'm sold. I'm spending money.
I do.
Jeff will come up with the price.
Wait. What color car did it come off of? Is it orange?
But no, it's purple.
Oh, so it'll be fast. Okay, awesome. Wow.
Oh,
awesome.
That was gonna be my next question. Which color's I was gonna say which color's fastest because he had a purple car originally. Right?
He did.
Now he's got an orange car, so there's a big debate on that.
I think black trucks are the fastest.
Lincoln trucks are the fastest.
Lincoln trucks are the fastest.
To the junkyard.
Yeah. Oh,
made this diabolical.
Oh, I got it. Michael, for the catback, Michael, if you can hear over the laughter, the catback Tulo has is basically a Charger catback on it, so that's what he would made up to it. So, yeah, so, and he has he actually did the 62s on the Magnum because he's a small displacement motor. He's going to be a 392 when we're done with it. So we did the 62s because he's not in it to make more than 1,400. So yeah, so
it'll be fun. I shouldn't have access to that much power in any way, shape, or form, and I'm probably going to end up dying because my car's 90% rust. But
absolutely,
it'll be fun.
And it looks like Jeff just dumped CJ for Tulo again, so this is getting real personal.
Jeff, you
stop playing with me, man. I'm like,
oh geez,
pick one and stick with it.
I see why you went home, Jeremy.
All right, guys. Well, I gotta get back to work. Like Ayla, thank you for joining us. Sorry about the little mishap in the beginning. I'll take over earlier next time. So
my bad.
Yeah, it's okay, Tulo.
We all had to turn my brain to mush.
Yes, we warned you.
I love it. I love it.
So again, everybody, Blake and Ayla Mushin from Whole Shot Media out front race field visiting us today. So if you're jumping in late, in a few minutes this will be up. You can go back, rewind, watch the crazy mayhem we had in the beginning. You see, I'm at home because I had to run home to fix it. So all is well. We'll get the links that Blake mentioned in this one as well, so you guys can check out the event. And everybody have a good weekend. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Oh, it didn't work. Oh, it worked.
Oh,
no, it didn't.